The headlines. Shantambo accuses HS of playing hide-and-seek on the cell of the presidential jet. Mines Minister Paul Kabuswe pledges to restore sanity in the sector. Former Labour Minister in the MMD regime, Austin Liato, resurfaces, breathes fire on PF. Livingston Zulu calls for humility and honesty among civil servants. And now the news in detail. Patriots for Economic Progress President Shantambo has advised Republican President Hakainde Hichilema to immediately halt all plans of wanting to liberate the country's economy using the IMF bailout package. Mr. Tembo has wondered why Mr. Hichilema decided to engage the IMF before constituting a cabinet to help him make such a critical decision, which borders on people's lives, adding that the move was shocking. Meanwhile, Mr. Tembo has challenged the head of state to state his position on whether he supports the liquidation process of Mopani copper mines, which started with the PF administration, a move he condemned the time he was in opposition. He further alleges that Mr. Hichilema is playing hide-and-seek on the cell of the presidential jet by stating that cabinet will decide on his behalf when the promise to sell was solely his.
The outspoken Patriots for Economic Progress PEP president has continued to voice out his displeasure at some decisions by the United Party for National Development UPND government. This time around, Mr. Tembo has faulted the decision by the government to engage the International Monetary Fund IMF to bail out the country.
Surplus, and you are projected to keep recording a balance of payment surplus for the foreseeable future. You are recording a fiscal surplus, and you are projected to keep recording a fiscal surplus for the foreseeable future. It means you are not in trouble. It means you do not need an IMF bailout loan. It means you don't need to be bailed out. You do not need to be bailed out.
Mr. Tembo is of the view that the process lacked adequate consultation and consensus from stakeholders.
The president needed to have first put in place his cabinet, and that decision should have come as a proposal from the Minister of Finance, tabled to cabinet, and cabinet is able to deliberate on it, and then you take it out to key stakeholders in the nation. You convene stakeholder meetings with trade associations, such as the Zambia Association of Manufacturers, such as the Zambia Association of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, ZACI, such as the Bankers Association of Zambia, professional associations such as the Zambia Institute of Chartered Accountants, the Law Association of Zambia, the Bankers Institute of Zambia. You convene them and you hear their submissions. What are their views? What are the views of these independent bodies regarding the country's decision to go the IMF route, to go and get an IMF bailout package? What are their submissions? And then after you've consulted widely, that is when the president would have sat and announced to say, we as a
direction in the mining sector, as he was against many developments that characterized the sector when he was in the opposition.
To say, since you, President Hichilema, you were against this purchase of Mopani by government, now that you are the president, are you going to reverse this decision, or you are going to continue with it? Without the government pronouncing its position on that matter, there is uncertainty in the mining industry, because people don't know. They don't know whether the UPND administration is in support of the decision that the PF administration made to acquire Mopani from Grenco, or they are not in support, whether they will reverse it. And for as long as there is uncertainty, people cannot invest in an industry where there is uncertainty. So we want the president to pronounce himself on this matter and say, oh, me, since I'm president now, I think we'll go this direction. We'll continue with the decision that was made by the previous administration and we'll keep Mopani. Or no, me, I'll reverse. Whichever direction, we need the proper policy direction from President Hichilema. Coming to the issue of KCM,
attempts to get a comment from government on the matter failed as the government spokesperson Chushika Sanda's phone went unanswered. Minister of Finance and National Planning Stumbeko Musokotwani recently announced in Parliament that government met the IMF to discuss, among others, the implementation of the economic recovery interventions, attaining debt sustainability and employment creation. Reporting for MUVI TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
Minister of Mines and Mineral Wealth Paul Kabuswe has announced to the Zambian suppliers and contractors that the new Dawn administration remains committed running a corrupt-free country as promised by President Hakainde Hichilema. Mr. Kabuswe says his government means business and will prioritize the interest of Zambians as beneficiaries of the mines in the country. The minister adds that local suppliers and contractors were being given a raw deal, which must be a thing of the past. The minister was speaking during a familiarization tour at Kansanshi Mine, POC.
We want the investor to be happy. We also want the worker to be happy. Equally, we want approach they can care. Make sure Zambians feel your presence. I know that you've been doing something which we appreciate so much, but it can even be done better. We want to give you an environment where your investment is flourishing, but at the same time, please, let's make sure that even the community where you are at reflects the kind of mine. I can see the picture there, looks good, and I know that you've done quite some massive investment, and we are also planning to reflect the fact that it has Kansanshi mine. I think that is important. And also, we want Zambians to really feel that they are participating in the mining value chain. That is our. That will help us a lot. That's why we've carried the Chamber of Commerce. There are a lot of complaints, MD, that are coming from suppliers and contractors that they are not given preference, that most of the bigger jobs are going actually to companies that are not Zambia based. Those are complaints I'm receiving, so I wanted to bring them to the table because I know that these issues, when they rise, we can be able to sit around the table and discuss. One thing that I want to tell the Zambian suppliers and contractors is that as the new Dawn government, we want to promote a corrupt-free public and private sector. We want to our customers. So we want proper behavior. We want quality. This is a production-oriented business. So when you mess up in the way that you're doing with them, you're affecting their productivity, and we don't want that. So we want to make sure Zambians are supported, and that's why we are familiarizing ourselves. I know that Kansanshi has done a lot, but I know you can do better. So we want to have a look at what you're doing and also just appreciate the investment so that we can be talking from an informed position. So I think that for now, we can continue with the program outside, then we'll give the few remarks after we've seen what is here.
Action against corruption has called on youths from all political parties to avoid the temptation of being used to cause political violence. Organization Executive Director Brighton Tembo says the attacks on a suspected Patriotic Front PF cadre at the Lusaka High Court last week by UPND cadres who alleged that the suspect killed their supporter was uncalled for. He has since urged youths never to allow any political party to use them for selfish gain.
PF youths by suspected UPND cadres is an open call and a warning to the youths to behave and never to be used by senior political party members, because if you look at these PF youths who have been attacked by their colleagues, these youths were being used by senior party officials, but if you look at the ones who have been attacked now are the youths, the young ones. I've never seen any former minister from the PF government being attacked, and their lives are very safe, their children are safe, but those who were being used are the ones now who are being hunted. So youths should always behave accordingly they should not be used by politicians, senior politicians, because if now the young politicians, the youths, the cadres are the ones who are in trouble now. They are the ones who have been attacked. We saw what happened at Lusaka.
Former Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo has called on government to quickly consider addressing the plight of farmers in Eastern Province, including many other parts of the country whose maize is stranded at depots due to lack of empty sacks and the failure to purchase by the Food Reserve Agency, FRA. Speaking when confronted by a group of stranded farmers whose maize are stuck in Eastern Province, the former minister says the situation is unbearable and government should move before the maize wastes away. Mr. Kampyongo is in Eastern Province. To drum up support for PF's candidate ahead of this month's by-election.
Vezana pana makugula mayamiliso kanapitiza kutoka mu na emilie batikali kushoto jamani wanu sokosha panja mavazi amena onongeka tembe za sangeka wewe sababu amena akai baipara itoyola kuchosa pansi mili okay zaura mameti ndo kambe kona wamena ndipo kunga fast na setika vote kwa kuvota na pana se pala limaningi ya kanani yote mimi ambiri wale hapo ndio kwamba lazima mlinzi hapa ni wapi makudala jo sina hii nao makenzi ndio kwa ndio kwa bwana okay. Ndio kwa tuone chapa gani mama mkali zaenda nayo kani. Atati. Sisi pana tukuna matishe ndio kai tinga kwa nsheni kuera kwa lamba depende atretere ko. Pendani wapase namba muda. Kama by network. Okay. All right. What is your reaction to this? Your reaction to these are the concerns we have been putting forward back in Lusaka in Parliament to say that our farmers are really suffering, in Italy and everywhere. And different depots, this is a situation you find. I was on the other side of Petauke, it's the same. So we are only urging this government to take this matter seriously. It would be overwhelming, but it's for the positive. We have seen governments start exporting maize. They need to take advantage because very soon the lands will be falling, and you have seen most of the maize here is not secured. There are very few tents. So it's important that the Ministry of Agriculture double their efforts through the Food Reserve Agency. Thank you.
And also, I'm worried even transporters, if they are going to manage transport maize from here into Petauke. So, as we are going back, we need to go and sit down with the Minister of Agriculture. Quickly, we can also pay the transporters so that they can move in to make sure that these maize are secured. Thank you.
Governance activist Maika Zulu has called for discipline among the people in the civil service, a virtue he calls a key to championing the country's prosperity. Mr. Zulu, who was among the persons that protested in the bush during the PF administration, says it is important for the current administration to be cognizant of the fact that power belongs to the people. He says governance should be about service to the people and must encompass total respect, humility and honesty while serving the people. He was speaking when he featured on the assignment program. Sean Tembo accuses HH of playing hide and seek on the sale of the presidential jet. Mines Minister Paul Kabuse pledges to restore sanity in the sector. Former Labour Minister in the MMD regime Austin Liato resurfaces breathes fire on PF. MUVI TV Livingston journalist donates his award money to the community. Barely a month after scooping the MUVI television report of the year 2020, Livingston Best MUVI TV journalist Mueya Mokubunta has decided to channel the proceeds of his award towards corporate social responsibility. Speaking during the handover of building materials on Monday afternoon, Mr. Mokubunta underscored the importance teachers play in building young minds who inspire to have a bright futures. Mr. Mukubuta has told learners that at the school to remain focused and determined as the generation for it to develop. He adds that no one is either poor nor rich to contribute to society's development and that Zambians should take a leading role in shaping the future of young people through any kind of support. Michelle Mambo now gives us the report. All right, we'll now take a break and still to come is more news items. Stay tuned.
Place a bet. Search on the web or get the app. OneXBet Bookmaker Company.
Citizen College for Health Sciences is recruiting in the following courses: Diploma in Registered Nursing, Diploma in Abridged Nursing, Diploma in Early Childhood Education, Diploma in Secondary Education, Diploma in Primary Education. Other programs include Project Management, Business Administration, Power Electrical, Public Relations, Computer Lesson, and many more. For more information, contact our marketing team on the following numbers: 0978 62 9093, ShopRite Building, first floor, or our Ndola campus, Luaresha, Masaiti. Enroll now and get a 20% bursaries for the first 50 applicants.
With the new MUVI Relaxer Cream, I get to wear my hair just like I live my life. The newly improved MUVI Relaxer has a moisture lock ingredient that guarantees stronger, extraordinary. MUVI Relaxer's impact on black hair is dazzling. So get moving with MUVI. You'll definitely stand out. MUVI. All day confidence.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Governance activist Mike Zulu has called for discipline among the people in the civil service, a virtue he calls key to championing the country's prosperity. Mr. Zulu, who was among persons that protested in the bush during the PF administration, says it is important for the current administration to be cognizant of the fact that power belongs to the people. He says governance should be about service to the people and must encompass total respect, humility and honesty while serving the people. He was speaking when he featured on the assignment program.
That there is no time to waste in terms of, in as far as leadership or leading a country is concerned. And so the people that accept those public roles, those public servant roles, must be able to rise to the challenge. If it means you suspending your small business for the benefit of your country, that is why you stood, So priority, first of all, must come to the country, especially where our leaders are concerned. Because like I said, we've had leaders, people coming into leadership with preconceived ideas, They just want that Land Cruiser from Parliament, Yes, believe me. And they are sleeping, they are drinking our water there, using our power. People are suffering without power and they are snoring in air conditions. All that needs to stop because, we've had passive leaders, leaders who are not on the ground, leaders who are non-existent until the next election. Leaders who put tinted windows on their vehicles, why should we have those GRZ vehicles in tint? Why? What are you fearing? See what the people are doing. Let them see you that you've passed and you've seen those potholes. So we have a job to do, comrade. But it's not just government's job. All of us, how are we doing business? For example, I'll give you an example. I do a bit of business with a company that is both Chinese and Zambian, So as an individual, how am I, doing my business? Are we doing straight business? Because people will be busy looking for corruption in government, What about, in the private sector? What about in the NGOs? Is there no corruption in getting those contracts? So it begins there. It begins, from our markets. How do you obtain your stand at the council? Because our country has been toxic. Our systems have broken down. Right now, it's probably time to mend these systems as quickly as possible, especially the public institutions, the police, ZRA, Anti-Corruption Commission, all these public institutions, the Auditor General, Financial Intelligence Center, all these critical institutions, they need to be mended as quickly as possible so that sanity comes back, because then once you have the rule of law, then people are going to, begin to be normal again, you see. Only last night we lost lives, on the road. And that's the road I use every day, on the Great North Road, because of it just comes and hits your screen, So it's attitudes, and these attitudes, you don't find them in government, you find them in communities, you find them in school, So this is why I say we have a job as a country. However, the bigger chunk of this job lies on the people that we elected, because you and I need to do other jobs, 82 are going to represent us to their utmost ability and are going to deliver, because this country has money. Look at how much money is in people's suitcases. those that have immunity, you know. It's
2020, Livingston-based MUVI doing the handover and building young minds who aspire to develop. He adds that no one is either poor nor rich to contribute to society's development. Gives us a report. At the slow pace in which President Hakainde Hichilema and his government is getting rid of directors and other senior government officials who served in the past administration. Speaking during his daily live online broadcast, Dr. Munsha hinted that it is wrong for Mr. Hichilema and the UPND to keep people in suspense as they make changes to government structures. He says UPND should be aware that Zambians are running out of patience due to the delay, adding that Zambians did not vote for the PF.
0.8 million votes. If ba misadire ba lefu at musunge ba PF 2.8 million imwe ba UPND, you received 2.8 million votes in order to keep PF. If these people wanted PF, they would have just voted for PF. Chale kanobu kaliba konkanyapo. Number, if we're several weeks later, the onse fitule umfuafie but it's still PF in power. Muma parastatal organizations, muma parastatal organizations. Months later, achimwakula achitapa nono. Yo, tapadifia pa nono apa. Those people in parastatals, in ZRA, in ZESCO, bonseba, PF. Abantu badikere mumwenso the entire time. 10 years of fear. 10 years of fear. And trepidation. One day more, we were fed up. And that's why we decisively acted. I also don't even blame the people of Zambia. The people of Zambia decisively acted and put the UPND in power, the United Party for National Development. That is our ruling party. And don't even be mistaken. 2.8 million are members of the UPND. They are not. Members by UPND. Regardless of how many you are, the people of Zambia voted for you. Okumusalo kumuvotela ati muteke chalo. Pantu direction chalo chale iramo. Tuale bana bashita sira lungu.
The way that things are going, you can tell that our friends were not really ready to govern.
Members of the opposition feel the United Party for National Development UPND and UPND Alliance President Hakainde Hichilema has failed to rule the country as they feel he has not delivered on his campaign promises a month after he was ushered in office. It is such sentiments that former Minister of Labor and Social Security Austin Liato surfaces. Mr. Liato wonders how Mr. Hichilema, who is 1 month and days in office, would fix what the Patriotic Front government destroyed in 10 years.
People in 1 month or less already saying President Hakainde Hichilema has failed anything, activities which are productive in a hurry. You cannot achieve anything in 1 month. We have to accept that it takes a period in order to produce results. You have to do a minimum, in most cases, of a year to be examined so we see how your performance is in a particular calendar. What that means is that you cannot do anything in 2 months, in 1 month. It's not possible.
Mr. Liato, who is also a UPND Alliance member, took time to add his voice to the controversial story of former ZNBC's Faith Musonda's case.
I think that's what is important is the principle. Nothing to do with temporality. I think what is important is that the rules are investigated as the president guided. So be it. In other words, let the rules prevail.
Liambela Mutumba, MUVI TV News in
Barely a month after scooping the MUVI Television Report of the Year 2020, Livingston-based MUVI TV journalist Mweya Mukumbuta has decided to channel the proceeds of his award towards corporate social responsibility. Speaking during the handover of building materials at Nasanzu Secondary School in Livingston on Monday afternoon, Mr. Mukumbuta underscored the importance teachers play in building young minds who aspire to have bright futures. Mr. Mukumbuta has told learners at the school to remain focused and determined as the country is dependent on the educated younger generation for it to develop. He adds that no one is either poor nor rich to contribute to society's development and that Zambians should take a leading role in shaping the future of young people through any kind of support. Mijelo Mambo now gives us the report.
Quality education can be achieved when Zambians themselves become fully involved in the education system. It is for this reason a Livingston-based MUVI television journalist, Mweya Mukumbuta, has come to aid of Nasanzu School, which had its security fence fallen down. Mr. Mukumbuta has decided to use money from his award, which he won as Best MUVI Television Reporter, to help school with 130 building blocks and 8 pockets of cement to help in the construction of the said security fence, all valued at 400,000 kwacha. The encouragement to the pupils.
To ensure that you pass examinations, ensure that you support the community. It's not about when you finish school, it's not that the monies are going to be yours. Remember, you owe God, right? When you become a doctor, please adopt even 3 children. Take them to school, okay? Or maybe indeed buy something for Nasanzu or any other school you feel like you want to buy something for them. Okay? So you are the young people. This year you are going to be completing.
And the school deputy head teacher was grateful for the gesture made towards the construction of the security fence.
Private partnership, and you've shown that these young minds that you've helped the nation. So this donation does not just end here. It goes to help many more families because by paying their examination fees, you help their parents. By paying their examination fees, you open a number of doors for these young ones to become doctors, to become teachers, to become lawyers. And these are the people that are going to bring development to this nation. Nelson Mandela once said, education is the greatest equalizer. By paying for them, you've laid a level playing field for them because some parents may not have afforded that. But by your gesture, what you've done today simply means that you've opened those doors for others.
PTA treasurer called on other well-wishers to come on board.
Our parents have been dipping in their pockets. This man has done everything to ease up everything for the school as well as for the parents. Being to well-wishers like him
is dependent on them when they become educated. Mijelo Mambo, MUVI TV News, Livingston.
You are watching MUVI TV Primetime News. We still have more news coming up.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Health and cooperating partners, will be conducting the Zambia Population-Based HIV Impact Assessment, ZAMFIA, starting April 2021. The survey is targeting those aged 15 years and above in randomly selected households throughout the country. Participants will voluntarily give consent to be able to participate. The survey will enable individuals to test for HIV in the comfort of their own HIV-positive status, to retest and know their CD4 and viral load. Trained health workers will visit selected households wearing personal protective equipment, PPE, and Zamfia branded materials with an official identity card from the Ministry of Health to conduct this survey. A similar survey was last undertaken in 2016 and the results have been used to design interventions to prevent with the set national targets. Zamfia. Participate and make it happen. Agency Fund for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select MUVI TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay.
Call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
If I go down, I won't care, 'cause I know that I'm a superstar and I am strong. I'll find my way back again, like Apple Max.
To all my troubles and pressures, to all the rules and the measures, to all the battles and dangers I made it this far. Now I'm like a treasure. I'm the realest one to ever do this. The one that sent me gold, but the rudest. I'm raising my tone like I'm foolish, and now I'm a star. Yo, I shine like a movie. I know I'm leading the race. For 20 years on the chase. I know that I'm the boss. Who got the juice and the sauce? I got the power and the energy. I don't need no other strategy.
And if I fall down, we'll rise back up again. 'Cause I take it to the max. I turn it up, I turn it up, turn it up like fire. I'm burning now. I turn it up, turn it up like fire. I'm burning the air. I take it to the max. I turn it up, I turn it up.
Presenting Mr. Money!
Send cash and get cash right now from overseas. With international money transfer, it's just a breeze. Receive cash from across Africa at cool rates and receive cash from other networks across states. You can cross borders at any time with your locals in Africa with international money transfer. With our global money partners, transact conveniently across borders.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. A group of small-scale tobacco farmers who have been camping at the Tobacco Association of Zambia TAZ warehouse in Lusaka have expressed concern in the manner that the association is treating them with regards to the purchase of their produce. The tobacco farmers have complained that their produce has not been bought for over a month now and say they have been camping and sabotaging their business. Meanwhile, association's board chairperson James Kasongo says the association has already engaged a Chinese buyer who will soon buy their weed. Controversy surrounding Surya group of companies whose workers had been dragged to court for alleged theft of a business model belonging to another company in the construction of filling stations in various parts of the country has been concluded. Company Legal and Compliance Director Patson Kafwimbi has disclosed during a media briefing in Lusaka that it is unfortunate that much of the damage has already been caused, including the loss of resources to legal fees on a matter which were purely false. He says also part of the damage is that his company holds assigned works such as the producing of COVID-19 materials after signing a contract with the Ministry of Health under the previous administration. Mr. Kafwimbi, however, says he is happy that the matters have been put to rest.
Meeting is to try and clear the air over what transpired a couple of months ago, where these companies' members, 5 of them, were dragged into a court for allegedly stealing another company's plans to construct filling stations, etc. Now, it was a joyful day on the 8th of August that the members of the press were at the court heard that the Director of Public Prosecution had issued a nolle in the matter for want of evidence to proceed with the trial. Specifically, this company would have been delighted if the matter had gone to full trial, because I know, as well as anybody else around know, they were not going to find any evidence that incriminates them at all. The press are aware of what charges were leveled against them. Now, this affected the business of this company. Millions of dollars have been invested in this company to manufacture a number of products. COVID-19 pandemic. The company had just started producing ethanol of 96 point for food grade, which we're using in our breweries. The chairman then ordered that I would like us to turn our attention to producing hand sanitizer. And the first beneficiary of that, as a corporate social responsibility of this company, ordered by the chairman, Mr. Kalpesh Patel, was the Ministry of Health. We went through the State House and we were guided to approach the Minister of Health, the Untitled Chapter, and we were guided to go and represent, if I could remember roughly, it was, Mr. Sharma, how many liters of sanitizer?
10,000.
10,000 liters, which we supplied to the Minister of Health. Now,
the Minister of Information and Media, Chushi Kasanda, has reiterated that her ministry will stick to the guidance given by the head of the promotion of media freedoms. Ms. Kasanda says government will not allow any media house and its practitioners to be treated unfairly due to political interference, and that her ministry has engaged the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, to work in accordance with the law. And Wapula Province Minister Derek Chilundika has pledged support to the Ministry of Information and Media in a quest to protect the rights and freedoms of journalists.
Minister of Information and Media, Honorable Kasanda Chushi, has visited Luapula Province media houses to appreciate their works and challenges they are facing, both from private and public media. The minister also commissioned Luapula Zanis TV platform toward provincial ZNBC studio and 2 local radio stations, namely KFM Radio and Radio Angeni, where she even held a radio program on media freedom.
We have actually engaged IBA and I've spoken to them at length, and I'm sure they have understood the manifesto of the UPND government that we will not close any institutions unfairly. We do not want to see the intimidation that the journalists were facing. We do not want to see the brutality that the media houses and the journalists were facing. And as a ministry, as a government, we have come to put that to a stop. That is why the President's pronouncements were very clear that we want the media houses to be independent, to have freedom of speech, to have freedom of expression, but at the same time, act responsibly.
And Luapula Province Minister Derek Chilundika told Information and Media Minister when she paid a courtesy call at his office that provincial administration will support his ministry as it contributes positively to the development of the country.
So, Honorable Minister, we wish to state that as provincial administration, we are ready to give any support that your ministry will need to ensure that we propel development in our country. You have a critical ministry, and we believe the effectiveness of your ministry is going to assist the people of Luapula to attain the development that they long desire.
And during the commissioning of Zanis Mobile TV platform, Provincial Zanis Information Officer said that the TV platform will help in disseminating information to rural communities.
We thought that we needed to improve the quality of service that we provide to the community, based on the realization that information is critical in any transformation. So this is the reason why we thought of coming up with a mobile cinemas. We thought of introducing a new practice.
Meanwhile, Radio Yangen Programs Manager Martin Kunda called on the Ministry of Information and Media to allow the media to operate freely.
Has pledged to support self-media regulation. We also pray that as the Minister of Information, our new Minister of Information, we are going to protect the media fraternity from the political interference, for people to have access to accurate and factual information.
A 39-year-old man of Chama district in Mochinga province has died after being attacked by Hippo believed to have come from Luangwa River. Acting Chama district Commissioner Willie Sikamba confirmed the development to the Zambian News and Information Services ZANIS in Chama district. Mr. Sikamba said the incident happened on Sunday at Kajumba village in Senior Chief Kabombo's area about 50 kilometers from Chama Boma, and identified the deceased as Benson Wale Chabinga. He adds that Chabinga met his fate when he went fishing with 3 of his friends in Luwumba River and decided to cut some reeds while waiting for the fish to enter into the said fishing nets. He explained that while cutting the reeds, Chabinga, who was some meters away from colleagues, was suddenly attacked by the Hippo that emerged from the reeds. The acting Chama DC said Chabinga's friends responded to his cries after being attacked by the Hippo and managed to get him out of the jaws of the Hippo and safely took him home about 2 kilometers from the scene. He says despite having successfully rescued victim from the jaws of the Hippo, he could not survive and died shortly at home due to the injuries he suffered. Mr. Sinkamba at home before he could have been rushed to the hospital. Mr. Sinkamba has since warned Chama residents to be careful as they do fishing and also avoid moving along in sensitive areas. He said the whole district is a game management area and as such local due to good management by the government and stakeholders involved in game management. In 2018, the cabinet approved 3 bills and resolved to reduce the hippo population among the Luangwa River following reports of damage to the environment. The population of the hippos in Luangwa River was said to be at 13,000, which is beyond the current capacity of 9,000 on a 270 kilometer stretch. These had as well as a threat to human life. Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mweta has warned all agro-dealers in the province to stop the tendency of swindling farmers every time they want to get their farming inputs. Mr. Mweta says the New Dawn government and the President Hakainde Hichilema will not Kazungula District Acting Council Secretary Ruth Ward Nduli says the lack of warning. Mr. Nduli says only 5% of the people in Kazungula District are connected to the electricity grid, mining 95% of the people are cooking using charcoal. He says the district has continued to lose trees due to the dependence on charcoal. Mr. Nduli has since called on government to electrify more public facilities such as schools and hospitals in the district as it to enable more households to be connected to the electricity grid.
5% of the population which have got access to energy cannot be stopped at any time soon. So with this project and identifying as many communities as possible to benefit from this solar project and renewable
desk tonight, but for now let's take a break.
Airtel Money is all about. Move cash from the bank to any Airtel Money account. Are you tired of long bank queues? Get a money account. Take loans for emergencies and get your right amount. That's right, Mr. Money. He knows it all. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
What is IO? IO is easy and convenient insurance cover via your phone. IO Recharge with Care gives you both My Life
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Grow to become better and supports your development. A place for growth, innovation and change. One with instructors that have your best